everyone, welcome to this brand new video and my first ever video on Timelord Victorious. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Doctor Who Annual, mainly focusing obviously on the Timelord Victorious. Now if you don't know what Timelord Victorious is, it's this brand new multi-platform event. It's been advertised all over social media at the moment and it's going to be telling stories on books, on comics, on Big Finish, on live events, on games, etc. It's really exciting. It's all going to contribute towards Timelord Victorious, which we don't know the full story of yet, but by the end of all these stories told on these different platforms, it should all make sense and add into this little universe. So it's really interesting, and today I'm going to be doing my first video on it, talking about the Doctor Who Annual. Now, before I talk about Timelord Victorious part, because that's what this video is going to mainly focus on, it's the Timelord Victorious contribution to the Doctor Who Annual. But quickly, I'm going to talk about the Annual in general. So there's not too much to say on it. It's pretty much what you'd expect from an Annual. It's obviously not aimed towards people my age in their 20s. It's more aimed towards the younger audience. So there's nothing really new content in there. It's just a fact file on each episode from Series 12 where it talks about the story, the characters, the villains, etc. Nothing really new, but it is quite interesting, I guess. There's also a nice little section on the Timeless Children. Again, nothing new in detail, but it just gives you a little recap from Series 12. And yeah, you've also got some activities, some colouring ins, etc. You've also got some nice new images. I really like the front cover here, as you can see. Nice front cover as well on the back with the 13th Doctor. And yeah, it's pretty much what you'd expect from an annual. It's not really aimed towards people my age, but in general, I guess it's okay. Nothing really brand new. It's just a little recap from Series 12 and I guess stuff to kind of keep you occupied for just an hour or two. But obviously, let's move on and talk about the main reason for getting this annual. So now, obviously, time to talk about Timelord Victorious. Now, from what I had heard on Twitter, what I was expecting was a comic story. That's what everyone on Twitter was saying it was going to be. Apparently, it was going to be a comic story that was going to involve River Song meeting Graham Ryan Yaz. You might have heard it yourself, is what was speculating on Twitter. That's what I was expecting. Now, unfortunately, that's not the case. There is no comic strip in this annual whatsoever. Now, I don't normally get the Doctor Who annuals. I've not had them in a few years now. I know there used to be comic stories in them, but unfortunately, this hasn't got a comic story yet. I'm not sure if the 2019 or 2020 had a comic story in it, but yeah, there's no comic story in this annual. Basically, what the Timelord Victorious thing is, it is River Song, and it's basically her writing a newspaper talking about the Dark Times. Now, the Dark Times, from what I know, is the very start of the universe, just after the Big Bang, before the Time Lords were even in existence yet. And basically, all this annual tells you, I'm trying to find it, it's right at the back. Where is it? Here it is. So here it is here. So it's like the Dark Times, and it's basically like a newspaper report written by River Song, I think. And basically what it tells you is there was this species in existence straight at the start of time. I can't pronounce their names, but that's them there. And basically they existed right at the start of time, before the Time Lords were in existence, and they basically had the power to create life and death. Like, they could control how long species live for and when they died. And yeah, that's how they were kind of so powerful at the start of the universe. And to be honest, that's mostly it. It's kind of just telling you that. It tells you other species that were around at the time. So you had the externals, is that Eternals, however you say it, from Can You Hear Me? You had the Rachnos. It does tell you that the Time Lords at this time were being formed on Gallifrey, but weren't. They didn't have the control of like regeneration and stuff yet. They were kind of still not proper in existence yet. And yeah, like, I guess it's a decent introduction. It also tells you as well a bit about the Daleks, and it doesn't really tell you too much. And it also tells you about Brian the Ood as well. Basically just tells you that they were around at the time, and Brian was an Ood, and yeah, it doesn't really tell you how the Doctor knows him or anything like that. Like, it's okay, but I think the problem with it is you really have to be invested in Timelord Victorious for it. And I think since this is my introduction to Timelord Victorious, because the first comic from Tintin Comics hasn't arrived yet, it's not very good. Like, I'm disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I guess it's okay, but considering that they kind of hyped this up, that you have to get the annual for the Timelord Victoria story, and I thought it was going to be a comic strip, I'm not going to lie, I'm disappointed. Like, overall, the Doctor Who annual, it's okay, it's not really for people my age. Again, it's more aimed towards kids. Like I said, you've got some fun facts in there, there's information on each episode, some colourings to do, some activities. For kids, it's great, but for people my age, like in their 20s and teenagers, I wouldn't recommend it, even for the Time Lord Victoria stuff. Like I said, it's just basically a little fact file thing. Like, I guess, like, I think you'll find out all that information in the Big Finish stuff and the comic stories, I'm sure, anyway. I'm sure in the other media, the main storyline, you will find out that information in much better detail. So yeah, I think this is a bit of a cash grab. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty disappointed. But at the end of the day, it's for kids. And so yeah, if you're buying it in general, I would recommend you only really do it if you're a kid or a collector, because there's nothing really new in there. For Time Lord Victorious, I would say leave it. It's not worth it. You'll find out all the information, I'm sure, in much more detail in the actual stories from the comics and Big Finish and the books, etc. And yeah, I feel this is just a bit of a cash grab, which is disappointing. But yeah, that is the Dog 2 annual review. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will be back tomorrow. Yes, another video will be live tomorrow, and it will be talking about Dog 2 and political correctness, and if I think the show is too politically correct. So that will be coming on the channel either tomorrow or on Sunday. So look forward to that. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.